What's up? Honor Hermit 26. I'm here to give you my ROH from the Ashes review and Phoenix Rising reviews. These are both of the WrestleMania 26 weekend shows for ROH in Phoenix, Arizona. Both these shows actually were great. One of them almost was amazing. And for kind of, I guess, holding back a little bit for the Big Bang, ROH put on two great shows WrestleMania weekend with some of the best crowds of the year. You got to give it up to Pierce here to come up with something like this. This was great. I loved watching both these shows. This show was very fun to watch. It wasn't all that long. And this show was your typical ROH WrestleMania weekend show. Man, loved them both. Let's get right to it. From the Ashes, the Friday show, started with a six-man mayhem match. Joey Ryan versus Colt Cabana versus Johnny Goodtime versus Rasche Brown versus returning Human Tornado versus Shawn Daivari. Very short but very fun. I liked it a lot. Kind of give each guy a little bit of a chance to show themselves. Johnny Goodtime usually competes for the opening in PWG. Good to see him here in ROH. Joey Ryan did his thing. Colt Cabana did his thing. Wanted to see a little bit more out of Human Tornado. Rasche Brown kind of did his thing, and Shawn Daivari looked very good for what he did. So 2.5. Then we got to the Kings of Wrestling versus Scott Lawson, Scorpio Sky. Scott Lawson, Scorpio Sky did look very, very good here, but the Kings looked so impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Claudio, he did one move that made me go, wow. You've heard it probably in other people's reviews, but it was just amazing, that one move that Claudio did. I was just in awe of it. It was amazing. And as a match, this was a very, very good undercard tag team match. It just flowed together very, very well, and it made all four of these guys look great, especially the Kings of Wrestling. It made them look so strong. 3.5. Then we got to a Final Bout 2009 rematch. Two guys from AAA, Rocky Romero versus Alex Koslov. This was actually better than the match at Final Battle. This was I mean, they've had a better match than this in AAA. They've had a couple better matches better than this in AAA. But for what it was very, very good. The ending was very, very, a little bit predictable in my estimation, but I still really liked it. It still looked very, very good in my opinion. These two guys have very, very good chemistry, and they put on a good match here. Koslov looked super impressive. I don't know why he didn't work the second night, and Romero did. Maybe AAA conflicts, I don't know. But I like Koslov a lot, so 3.25. Then we got to a match that really wasn't a match at all. Necro Butcher Bison Smith just came out and brawled. Really didn't even get a match started. But it led to whatever happened the next night, and I did like it. So a little bit, but it gets a no rating, or not applicable. Then we get to a match that I got a little bit more out of than I actually expected. Kenny Omega versus Kevin Steen. Steen is awesome as a heel. Probably should have watched this before going to Manassas, but it wasn't out on DVD yet. Actually, it came out DVD that night. Because I probably wouldn't have gotten in his face if I had seen this, but still, it was a great match. Great heel stuff from Steen. Omega kind of being the enforcer, or the heat face, kind of getting the crowd behind him and like representing the crowd. It was a great, great match. Loved it. 4 stars. Then we got to a very, very good storyline match. El Generico, Steve Corino. Wow, this match was, for storyline, it's one of the best storyline-oriented matches I had seen in a while. This is the best match in the feud to that point, because it showed that Generico was kind of getting ready to face Steen, he looked so good here for that reason. Steve Corino, I didn't think these guys would have all that good of chemistry, but it was actually very, very good for what it was. And then you had a lot of storyline in there. It was just great stuff for storyline. I loved this match, really. It gets 3 stars, but for storyline purposes, it was a great match. Then I got to the first of the 2 matches in the personal challenge. Gauntlet, Tyler Black versus Austin Aries. Basically, you get 2 of the exact same match, just one, Tyler Black doing pretty much the exact same thing in both matches, which was fine, because they both were good. But, you know, they kind of looked like the same match to me, because they were both challenge gauntlets. Tyler Black was out there for like 25 minutes. It was kind of, as a whole thing, it was very, very good. Came off very, very great. Kind of an innovative concept to have these 3 before the Big Bang. Even though I think the one the next night really wasn't a match altogether, it was great, and you'll have to watch the video why later on. But I really liked both of those matches. You know, it was different, but a good kind of different, and I liked it. 3.25 for both. Then we get to a no disqualification match. Kenny King, Jerry Lynn. Kenny King did a very good job. This is because kind of more Jerry Lynn's type of thing. So I expected a little bit more of the brutal spots to come from Jerry Lynn, but Kenny King did very well hold his own. You can see Instant Classic go, like, start to clap stands really loud as soon as Kenny King comes out. I was laughing at that because he's a huge fan of Kenny King. And actually you can see do 95.9, you see True Slayer. You can see, for those of you who know who Brian, Next Big Thing is, that he's visible as well, and their friend Shawn, who's oblivious, but that's a different story. Yeah, 3.5. Then we got to the main event of the first night. Wow, Briscoe Brothers American Wolves, exactly what I expected from them at Final Battle, actually, but we got it here. The first time I watched this, I was going between 4.25, 4.5. I couldn't decide, then I watched it again, gave it 4.5, because I thought it was too good to get just 4.25, so 4.5. It's kind of a weak 4.5, but you know, it's still a 4.5 at that. An amazing match. It probably doesn't make my top 10 countdown, like at number 8, I think. I'm not sure. I still have some Japanese matches to watch before I really get settled. Alright, 8.75. You haven't picked this up already, go do it. Phoenix Rising. This is kind of the more storyline show. Perfect show to set up Big Bang, actually. So, and I really liked it. First match was actually kind of a long opener. Rocky Romero versus Kenny Omega. Yeah, it was just a long opener, and Omega sold a leg injury during the entire match. Just it got time, and it was very good. I'm big fans of both these guys, especially Omega, so glad to see them finally face off. 3.5. They got to probably the worst match of the weekend, but not saying all that much because only 2 stars. Human Tornado versus Shawn Daivari. Got a little bit of time, but I don't think these guys have all that good of chemistry. Tornado with his limited offense because he's like retiring or injured, just coming back from being retired, and Shawn Daivari really has to get into the ROH style a little bit more, even though I think he's very talented, and we'll get to show it in the future, but really nothing here to show at 2 stars. Then we got Kevin Steen and Scott Lost. Even more great stuff as Steen is a heel. Scott Lost first singles match in ROH, so I'm really glad to see that. I really liked this match. They had matches and tag matches and regular matches in PWG in the past, so I expected this to be very good, and it was. 3.25. Then we got to an 8-man tag team match: Jay and Mark Briscoe and the Necro Butcher and Rasche Brown versus Claudio, Castagnoli, Joey Ryan, Bison Smith, and Prince Nana. It was really originally not going to have Prince Nana in it, and Chris Hero was going to take the place, but he got like minorly injured the night before with a back injury, so Prince Nana just kind of stepped in and took his place. It was a very fun 8-man tag. Kind of got a little bit of time, more time than it probably needed, but it was still a very good match. It was good, but it wasn't spectacular. It was very good. It was just regularly good. Nothing besides that. I mean, it was good, but it probably should have been a little better, honestly. But I do like the one spot where they were doing holding on one where I think it was Jay Briscoe had an abdominal stretch, grabbed on Mark, who grabbed on the Necro Butcher, grabbed onto Rasche Brown, who like it went through the crowd. I loved that. I always like that spot when it happens. It's just very cool to see. Then we got to a match that was just okay. Kenny King versus Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky is probably the worst of the two in the tag team in Ring of Honor. Scott lost in him. So put him in there with Kenny King. I mean, it was okay for what it was. Nothing all that much special. 2.5. Then we got to a match that I probably liked a lot more than most people. Steve Corino and Jerry Lynn. Man, for every match that gets a star rating for this night, I thought this was the best match of the night. Man, it's an ECW style brawl. I loved it. Loved it. Honestly, just... And they tried to do the one spot again where Jerry Lynn wrote "die" on his chest with Steve Corino's blood. That was great. Just a great match. I actually liked this a lot more than most people did. So, 4 stars. Really liked it. Then we got to the American Wolves versus Colt, Cabana, and El Generico. An almost great match, but this is perfectly fine with me. Generico looked great here. Cabana looked very good as well. The American Wolves, probably the MVPs of the weekend, had 2 great matches, or 1 almost great match and 1 amazing match. Probably the MVPs of the Phoenix weekend, and then Dave Richards had a almost great match with Kenny King next week at the Big Bang. But just a very good tag team match that kind of set up the main event, but didn't take away from it at all. Really liked it, 3.75. Then we got to the personal challenge gauntlet for Roderick Strong. Started with him and Aries, and like and then like Roderick Strong kind of got injured, went through a table. They brought out Tyler Black, made a title match, Black and Aries, and just something happened there where Strong ran out, and it was just kind of all hell broke loose, and it kind of ended up being a 3-way for the world title. Black, Strong, and Aries. Just all happened very quickly, and just kind of 3 matches right after another. It was just a great segment with Black winning at the end, making him look very strong going into the Big Bang. I just thought it was a very good segment to end the weekend and giving your main event for the Big Bang a lot more attention now. I thought it was great for that. This gets an 8.0. I do recommend seeing it. It wasn't as good as this, but I do recommend picking both these up. I'll see you guys later.